Welcome to the Oversight Global's The Energy of Gratitude series, where all month long we are deep diving into the practice of gratitude, a super quick, super easy, yet highly beneficial tool that you can use for positivity and success. My name is Angelie Kapoor. I'm your series host, as well as the founder of Oversight Global. We are an organization that addresses the consciousness crisis in the world by advocating for awareness and consciousness. We strive to educate and empower individuals and businesses to be aware of and strive to fulfill their fullest potential and uniquely contribute to the world. Today, I am excited to welcome our guest, Laura Kirtley. She is an NHS transformational lead and founder of Time to Thrive with Laura, a wonderful Facebook community of people using positive change tools, mindset strategies, and techniques to get more of what matters to them in life. As a lifelong lover of positive change and the wonderful impact it can have, Laura is passionate about supporting and empowering people to get the positive change results they desire in their lives and making them stick. So welcome, Laura. I am so excited that you're here.
Hello, thank you so much, Angelie, for having me. It's great to be on. And particularly about gratitude, it's such an amazing topic.
Yeah, definitely. So let's go ahead and dive right in. So can you tell us, what does gratitude mean to you?
So for me, it means a recognition and an appreciation, a thankfulness of someone or something. But it's definitely not just a passive thing. It's a proactive thing, I think, for me, gratitude, because I think often our gratitude maybe sits below the surface, and it's when we bring it to the fore and we have those, I'm so thankful for that. Actually, if I didn't have that, what would that be like? But I do, and how grateful I am for that. So I think that's really what it means to me.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I think, a lot of times we are so focused on, what we don't have. I don't have a bigger house. I don't have a nicer car. I don't have more money. But if we really stay in the present and are like, I have this and I'm so grateful for it, it goes so much further, So that's great. So tell us about how you found that gratitude affects you in your life personally.
I love the way that it brings me a sense of peace and contentment. So one of the things I try and do before bed is think about what am I grateful for before I go to sleep. Just one or two things. I don't manage it every night, but I sleep better as a result. I think there's a real contentment, and I don't think that replaces that desire to pursue what I'm doing with their coaching and bringing about the positive change and, living life with my family. But it just brings like a deeper joy in things. And I've seen this morning that, so I am trying to get my running to 5K, mainly because I have two boys who I need to keep up with because they are getting bigger and going faster than ever. So I was out running and I kind of hit that like, I've got quite a while to go yet, and just starting to feel a little bit difficult. And I was thinking about joining this session this evening, and it made me think, I'm really going to use this. Let's try this more practically and use it as like let's just try this in my running. And for me, it did exactly what it does in other areas of my life, by just stopping and going, I'm so thankful for these feet that are running, that my legs can, that yes, some of my muscles are telling me I'm working hard, but they're still working and they're going. I'm thankful that I was blessed with a new pair of trainers for my birthday. So getting out, I'm not slipping on the road anymore because I've got grip. I was thankful for the sea because we're away at the moment on the coast. And it just found there's all these lovely things kept coming, because I think that's one of the other things. I don't know if you found that in your personal life, but once you start thinking about things that you're grateful for, it tumbles out. It's like a cascade. It's like you've peeled off the lid on something and then it comes. And I just felt more positive and found the rest of the run a lot more easy than it had been. It didn't feel such a
Right.
I feel like that is what gratitude does for me in my life. It also gives me, I think, a sense of perspective, exactly what you hit on before about, we see those next big things, don't we? So I live in Surrey in England, and it's one of the house prices are one of the highest in the country here, and there are big houses, and it's really easy to walk by them or drive by them and feel disheartened. And actually then I go, do you know, we have so much. Why am I worrying about that? So I think perspective as well. So that positivity and that perspective. That's what I think joy brings. What gratitude brings to me personally.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, thank you for including that, how you use that today during, something as simple as running. I mean, again, like I mentioned in the beginning, that gratitude is just so easy and you can use it so quickly. So, I mean, that's just, a prime example of being able to do that, and the benefits that it has so quickly. It made your run easier. And so, having that type of effect is so amazing. I love it.
You're right, because so much we hit on adverts, don't we? And we feel like we have to pay for things, or we can get sucked into feeling like we need something. But you're right, that gratitude is free, isn't it? And it's just stopping and pausing and giving that joy to mind.
Exactly.
Or what this series does, actually, to inspire people to do exactly that.
Exactly. So tell us about how, now looking at gratitude kind of, in a bigger frame, how do you think that gratitude should be regarded in the world, especially kind of taking into account this big worldwide pandemic we've all been through the last couple of years? How can people really use gratitude to kind of move forward from, this big thing that's disrupted our lives?
And it did, didn't it? Like massively. I think for the first time in our generation, we had something that was such a massive curveball in the society. So for me, I feel like if there was more respect and appreciation for gratitude, there would be a number of positive things. And actually, I was making notes earlier, so let me come to those for a tip. Make sure I don't miss anything out. But I think we would take more time as a society, because gratitude makes you, in that stopping and recognizing, you pause. And in that moment of pausing, I wonder if we might be less reactionary as societies.
Right.
And we would be more proactive, and we might pause and not hit the keyboard so viciously as we might do. We might stop and think, hang on a second, is there something on the other side of that? When we have those hurt moments, or the really cross about that kind of moment, the boundary has been crossed. And I see that sometimes in the world. I think, social media is amazing. We can do this. That's amazing. We can connect. But it also allows us to just jump out of the blocks. And our gut reaction is sometimes the right one. But I've definitely been learning in my self-development journey that by pausing, I can just make sure that I frame that well and really respectfully. And so sometimes I think, I'm not sure that politician framed that respectably.
Right.
When they were saying those things. And so I wonder if some of the big things in life and the little things in life, like car parking, for example, the angst that we get into sometimes when we're in a totally full car park and we're just trying to dash around, and those kind of things. And if we just pause and just stop to went, I'm really thankful that I've even got a car to park. How would I then react to the person who's just pinched my space, for example?
Right.
Maybe I'd realised it wasn't even my space in the first place. You see, all of these things coming. I think we've already talked about appreciating what we have. And I think we would probably, as a society, become a bit less disposable in our if we're really grateful for something, we hang on to it, or we treat it with a different level of respect, I guess, when we pass it on. So but for me, the baby things are a good example, or just passing on clothes. So if they really matter to me for some reason, I don't just want to chuck them in the bin. I want to pass them on to someone who will be able to make really good use of that. There's a deep need, instead of just, I didn't need that. No attachment to it. And then I think the other thing is we might be less quick to replace things.
Right.
Well, one of the things I've been doing with my clothes is learning to just gently, partly because of wanting to be slightly more eco, and I got gifted a couple of items of clothing that were high quality than I would normally have bought for myself. It just felt different. I don't know if you ever had that. You know, when you put something on and you're like, oh, this just feels lovely, and I feel lovely in it, and I'm thankful for this. And that made me think that I want to buy a smaller number of those kind of items,
Right.
than the fast fashion, because then I get that feeling so much more often, because when I put it on, I feel special, and I have a couple of key pieces, and it's interesting because then people, I just notice, you know, those days when you realize that people are just engaging with you more, and it's almost like, what's happened to your face? And you feel like there's nothing different. But and some of that comes from that for me. So I think that might help us be less at lots of different things, and hold the quality things and use them differently. Having said that, I am also a bargain lady, and picked up an amazing pair of snow boots for my son, so I do also love a bargain. But what else have I thought about? That I think we've become a more giving society. Was the other thing that came for me. Because I recognise that when I'm grateful, so like this, the holiday home that we're in now is a family holiday home, and we're really grateful for it, and that spills out in that we've had friends join us for the weekend, because it's just so lovely to be able to say, oh, we love it here, it's so lovely, please come and share with us, come down. And we've made some fantastic memories, from racing out of rain showers to sand, kite flying, lovely time in restaurant. It was just really special. And some of that has come from just being so grateful to have this place and saying, come and share. So I wonder if we might in society be more open to sharing, and less close to feeling like that scarcity mindset of, I can't share this. I haven't got enough, or there might not be more. And I think gratitude opens us out to say, that's okay. Let's share some of that. Let's be more generous. And then you think, wow, if we all did that, even just a little bit, what knock-on effect would that have? How could that seed of generosity just grow and grow out of this first fruit of gratitude, really? And then I honestly think we'd be happier as a society of people if we practice gratitude on a more regular basis. And that I think, like you said about COVID, the news is heavy. I don't know masses about what's happening in the US at the moment, but at the moment there's political turmoil here in the UK. We are having so many changes. It's not great, and the wars that we hear about are really, and they're important. I do think it's important that we hear them, but we have to balance that too, don't we, for our own mental health. And there must be joy in the world, because there is. I love, there's a news outlet called Positive News, and I go on there once a week, and it just, I'm like, oh yeah, there's some more good stuff happening.
Yeah, there's good stuff happening in the world.
It's like, I just need a reminder of that. And I kind of batch my news checking to once a day, because that helps me to balance that out with practices like gratitude and just pausing and exercise and things like that to just look after my mental health. So I wonder if we, as a society, were more thankful. We don't often, do we? I mean, politics is a prime example that often they're just having a go at each other instead of saying, that was a brilliant idea. Why don't we work it out in this way? But great idea, great shout. So yeah, those are the things that I've been reflecting on.
Yeah, that's so great. Thank you for sharing. I mean, you have so many amazing points of, how gratitude can really help us personally, and then it kind of expands out to our communities and our countries. That was so great. I mean, you were talking about helping us to be more proactive rather than reactive. This is actually something that it was a challenge that I ran into when I first started managing in healthcare is, making sure not to be reactive because, when something negative happens or somebody says something that, kind of triggers you, it's so easy to quickly, start typing away and sending out this kind of, nasty. I mean, they weren't nasty emails, but they weren't very thought out and they were obviously very reactive. But, it was so easy to do that. And I really had to train myself and train others that I was working with as well to, like you said, take that pause, simmer on what's going on for a minute and look at the situation from different perspectives. Yeah, from your perspective, it frustrated you, it made you angry, and your first kind of reaction is to lash back out. Or defend yourself or something. But if you look at it from different perspectives, did they use the wrong words? Did they really mean it the way that you're reacting to it? How does this look from a third person's perspective type thing? I kind of set this rule for myself that if I did have something that triggered me like that I would give it 24 hours, and just kind of think about it and let my emotions kind of calm down. And then, if I needed to address it, think about, do I need to address it in a public forum? Do I need to address it just one-on-one with the person? So yeah, I mean, I'm totally agree with you there that gratitude really puts us in this perspective where we're more thoughtful and we're really thinking from, kind of a mindset of being more positive rather than just kind of adding flame to a fire type thing. So yeah, I totally, agree with you on that one. And then also, yeah, I mean, I have also found in my life that being more grateful has kind of, I've started to go in a direction of becoming a minimalist, because like you were saying, I have, a closet full of clothes. I love shoes, so I'm constantly buying shoes. But then it kind of gets to the point of what am I going to do with 300 pairs of shoes? So it's kind of like you're saying, is being grateful for, I only wear probably 5 pairs of shoes regularly, and then the rest of it just kind of sits in their boxes and collects dust, and I don't ever remember all of the shoes that I have. So it really, if you're grateful for, I'm grateful for my favorite pair of shoes and that, I've had them for so long, and, like you're saying, appreciating the things that you have, even the small things, clothes, shoes, makeup that you like to wear. I found that I haven't bought a pair of shoes in probably 2 or 3 years because I switched that mindset. It's like, I'll go into the mall and look at the stores. I'm like, oh, those are cute, but I don't need them.
That's really interesting because it's made a real practical switch.
It has, yeah, it has. And the same thing for clothes. You feel like you go out every time you go out. You need to buy something. You don't really, because you don't need that. So yeah, I mean, interesting point that you pointed out. So thanks for sharing that. And then, the balance piece, with media, especially the past couple of years with COVID, I'm not sure why media feels like they need to always tell us the negative. I guess it's because you get more reaction from people when it's negative. But yeah, I mean, really, recognizing that it affects your mental health and affects you emotionally, and really concentrating on creating that balance. I mean, I'm like you. I feel like I've gotten to the point to where if something really big is happening and it's going to affect me, somebody's going to tell me. So I don't even watch the news really. I might watch the news once a week, but it's only for a few minutes, and usually I want to know what's going on with traffic, the weather,
Yeah,
I try and stay away from all that negative. But yeah, I totally hear you. So yeah, great points. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Oh, no worries. Thank you for yours too. I mean, it's lovely to see those complementary things in your life that are working.
So, you kind of thinking about the things that you share personally, and how you think we can utilize gratitude as more of a species. I mean, have you worked with, I know that you have some clients that you're working with on, really being positive and creating that change in their lives that stick. Are there any tips that you have for somebody who might be watching who is brand new to, being more conscious and aware and really starting to utilize a gratitude practice?
Yeah, so one of the things that I've found really helps the people that I work with is having like a once a week reminder to reflect on the week. So it works differently for different people, but whether it's a short reminder daily to do something really small, like just think, just before I go to bed, what is even one thing that I'm grateful for, that definitely helps shift the mindset. Or a once a week, I call it, big rocks. It's that concept of if I put the big rocks in first, then actually all the little things will settle around them.
Yes.
And for me, gratitude is one of the big rocks that I want that to be in there. And so we need to consciously find a good time when we're not rushing, we're not trying to cook, we're not trying to get out of the house. What is one of those times where is it Sunday morning, you're just coming to and you don't have to go anywhere? Or is it Friday night when you're like, I'm done, I can relax now for the week, if that's the end of your working week. And using that to say, what am I thankful for? And then using that positivity to bounce off and say, that's a core thing in my week. I'm really grateful for that. What will I do next week? What's the one action or the two actions that I can do that are going to get me closer to my next milestone, my next kind of little thing that I'm working towards? That seems to be really powerful. And I think it's a bit like the therapy, the CBT model, that when our thoughts are positive, our behaviors become more positive as well. So then what I see happening is that clients make more positive choices. So for example, finances one is a really clear one in that they feel more empowered to do that whole kind of thing of actually, I can hang on, I put it in my basket and I hang on. Or they feel more like, yeah, okay, I'm going for that. To see my personal trainer, I'm doing that. And so that's where I think it's really bountiful if you can schedule a little slot and then you use it as a little jump board.
Yes.
Then that seems to be really powerful for people.
Yeah, definitely. I think just kind of making that conscious effort, that really being intentional with kind of how you spend your time, really in the morning. I mean, really kind of coming up with this morning routine that really sets this really strong foundation for you, and it lasts throughout your entire day. And when you get into that habit of, taking, a half hour, whatever you want to put in your morning routine to, practice gratitude, to do some visualization and some mindfulness, it really goes a long way. And you can, see the difference right away of how your days were before versus how they are, now when you're more in this positive, higher frequency energy. So yeah, I definitely and thank you for sharing. That's awesome. So thank you so much. I mean, you have given us so many tidbits of goodness. So I'm so grateful to you for that. But, so tell us a little bit more about you and what you do.
Yeah, thank you. So I am a mum to two boys, as I've mentioned. I'm a wife, and we live in the UK. You kindly mentioned, so I'm a transformation lead in the NHS, so I lead large-scale change. We're currently working on reducing our waiting times. So that's our big project at the moment, to help more and more people get seen after COVID. And then outside of that work, I have my own business, which is Time to Thrive with Laura, where I use the quality improvement and the transformation techniques and the project management techniques that I use at work to deliver these large-scale changes. I twigged what happens if we use them in our personal lives, started using them myself, saw some really big results, and started sharing those, and that's where it's grown from. So that's what I help people do, is to use those things to really go from that idea, that intention, all the way through to, because we didn't get told that at school, we didn't get told how to do that. Yeah. So we all, I think often people have amazing ideas. That little one that niggles is always really fascinating to me. I'm like, kept coming back, so we need to go somewhere with that. Or that intention. And I've got a whole raft of different solutions and different strategies, from more structured ones for people who like structure, more flexible ones for people who like flexible things, that basically take you right through to implementation, and then making it, we call it your BAU, your business as usual. You've probably heard of that before, your new normal. Because it's so sad when people have this amazing idea and they get 2 weeks out of the blocks, or a few weeks out of the blocks, or maybe they don't get even out of the blocks, and then they start saying, oh, it's me, I'm rubbish at this, I can't change that, and they give up on what is an amazing idea. So I am there to say, don't give up, let me give you the solutions, let's go there and bring about that transformation in your life. And if anyone watching would like to have a first taste of a useful tool in doing that, then I've got my Get Results, a monthly action planner that takes you through more than just kind of scheduling in actions. It has a really important section at the top to bring you back to what is my vision? What am I actually trying to create? What is my big why? What my reason for doing this? And it takes you just step by step, 5 minutes. Delicious coffee or a nice glass of wine is how I like to use it. And you'll be able to download that. Angelie very kindly said she'll pop the details in for this video. But yeah, so that's a little bit more about me and how I try and help people to go from ideas to transformation.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you so much. Yes, like you mentioned, we will have the link to that generous freebie in our video description. How about, so what other ways can people connect or follow you?
Yeah, so you can follow me on Instagram. So it's Time to Thrive _ Laura Kirtley. Come and find me there. Or you can find me on Facebook. Time to Thrive with Laura is there as well. So I have a group and a business page, or I'm on there with my own personal account. So that's the best way to connect in with me. So yeah.
Awesome. So yeah, we will include those links in the description below as well. So before we close, Laura, do you have any final thoughts or key takeaways that the people watching this episode can walk away with?
Just that it is possible. It is possible. From the tiniest thing to the more time that we might go on a retreat or something else. But this gratitude is within our grasp. It's so close. It's just a thought away, and the power that little thought has can be life-changing.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you so much for that. And thank you so much for being here and just sharing your insight and your knowledge and experience with us. So grateful to you for that.
Oh, thank you for inviting me. It's really been a pleasure. It's lovely. Thank you very much.
Of course, anytime. And thank you, audience, for being here and for watching. So be sure to check out our other episodes of the Energy of Gratitude series. If you're getting as much out of it as I am, be sure to let your friends, family, and others know as well. And be sure to subscribe below if you haven't already so you can get notified of future episodes and videos on our channel. So thanks again, everyone, and we'll see you in the next video.